You know what happened to, what was the country called that got completely wiped out by Emu this chapter?
Oh my god! They killed Kitty! You bastard!
That country never existed. Why does that look like Blackbeard who said that country? I know it's not, but it just looks like Blackbeard like talking about Emu here. Also, that Emu panel is so fire. Do we know where he is? All right, a few days later, around the Thousand Sunny. Like, talk about some really cool shit. I will say, what's an interesting thing about this, and what I want to talk about here, is that Luffy doesn't bring up Sabo here, which makes me think that he might just now believe that Sabo is okay, because he has a Vivro card, right? Did he give Frankie a Vivro card for Luffy to hold on to or something, or did he just put it in his hat? So he has a Vivro card of Sabo, and if he's not worried after like a few days of the non-existent, Sabo's obviously safe. There's no controversy there. He might be absolutely and utterly wounded, but he must be safe unless the whole evaporation device gets rid of the Vivro cards, but in which case they wouldn't be so chill in the few days later, right? But what exactly do we think happened to Sabo, really? Like, what is the overall takeaway from this generally? Because to me, it's like, okay, if we assume this is Uranus, which I feel like a lot of people are, like that did, but I want it to be something else. But if it's Uranus, I'm cool with that, right? And this just come black sky and shit, and it just completely wipes it out like an L sort of attack sort of deal. Also, can we just talk for a second, right, about this? I don't remember when the cover story was. I'm not gonna say I do, but like, if Emu is like literally a 2-year thing, like from 2 years. Imagine if Emu is an L, just like 2 seconds. Like this is just an L's power on fucking steroids. So imagine if Emu is bloody an L at this point. That shit would make me so happy. I am not gonna lie. This is what I'm running with, lads. Because we've gotten to a stage now where everything I see here is just an L's abilities on steroids. I'm running with the agenda that an L is Emu.
Oh, you see this guy? See this guy? Number one bullshit guy.
Emu didn't exist till 2 years ago. Like within the 2 years, he just completely. I know God Valley doesn't make sense, but look, Pluton, some sort of Pluton bullshit. I don't care. Logic is out the window. An L is Emu. That is now my viewpoint, and no one can change my mind. But yeah, no, it is interesting to see where it's going at this point in time. Like, how are they gonna handle this? What is Emu gonna be? Because Emu has to get revealed soon. Right, because he's popping up every now and then, and he's being important, and we know Doflamingo knew about this, right? He talked about a hidden treasure, so this is obviously what it was. And what relation does this have to the Straw Hat? Like, what? I just don't. I wonder. It's because realistically, this is the biggest thing in the chapter, right? Everyone's gonna be talking about this. This is the most important thing to happen in the chapter, you know. But it's interesting now to see what are they gonna do with it? You know, like, are we gonna see it more like if this, like 8 countries rebelled, right? Why don't they just wipe out 8 countries? And how are they suddenly gonna say it doesn't exist? Because surely it's gonna be a story for at least another 100 years. God Valley made sense because it's like, okay, well, obviously something happened on God Valley that no one wanted to speak about, right? Not even the pirates wanted to speak about it. It was so vicious, right? And over like 40 years, you know, people just don't speak about Rocks because he was so vile. And everyone else just forgot about him because of time. But this is just a random kingdom with Sabo on it. So you'd either have to like brainwash the people. Like, this is either going to be a brainwashing device where like they're just going to suddenly have control of the newspapers and everything. Like, surely the pure wiping out of an entire nation would be a story, because I don't know, we don't see it in this photo, but I can guarantee you there are local islands somewhere around here. There has to be. There's no way they don't have a single local island at the Reverie. And if so, how are they going to wipe his existence from the world? What are they going to say? I don't like Emu's power could be so much because they obviously can't wipe memories. They're not wiping memories of people because pretty blatantly we've got got Son Goku, Sen Goku talking about God Valley to Marines. Even Hina knows about it. Garp still remembers it. So they're not wiping the memories of people involved with it or wiping memories of people who certain things like that. But it's important to see, like, how do the government plan to do this? Like, actually explain how they just completely wiped out an island and how it never existed. Because they don't have control of the newspapers anymore. Morgan's got that on wrap. Shanks is like helping out a bunch of people with his just like going around, traveling around, doing a bunch of shit. We don't even know what he's up to, man. He gave you a warning about, I'd assume, Blackbeard, and Blackbeard goes and wipes out your entire fleet, steals your hero, and is just like, let's go do some shit, Boa. You can go now. I've got my handsome pink-haired boy. That's
so handsome.
That's all I need. That's all I need. Not one of the most OP devil fruits for such a handsome chap like Blackbeard. No. I got my pink hero boy hanging by the neck, and we'll pop off. We still need to figure out how that happened. Like, I really don't know how Kobe got kidnapped by Blackbeard. I've been saying, like, what value does Kobe have to Blackbeard? And I've talked about value to Garp and obviously value to Cross Guild. But the reason I haven't talked about Cross Guild when I talk about Blackbeard is because it just doesn't make sense to me. For Blackbeard to want Kobe so badly for his bounty that he would give up on getting the Mera no Mi. Because it had to be a decent enough trade, right? He wouldn't have just completely avoided conflict with Ray. There had to be, a trade involved in some regard, right? I don't know, that's my opinion now. So take it with a grain of salt, but back to the Emu stuff. One interesting thing, right, is this power obviously involves like an actual map of the world. So I don't necessarily, what really kind of sticks to me as if this isn't a devil fruit power, because I initially thought it was, is that he's writing on a map. Like, he has a map and he's just doing like a black pen and he marks an X out, like bye bye, right? And here's my current theory on it, which I'm sure everyone has, because it's just basically taking what we saw and readjusting it, right? So you got like Uranus. Imagine if Uranus is just let's talk a complete bullshit for right now. So Uranus is like, what would Uranus be like? It's like a pen holder, yeah. So you take let's explain Uranus as a fucking pen holder, okay? Right. So you got the pen, you got the base of the pen holder right here underneath all the islands, yeah. Above all the islands, and Emu's got his little inky pen, and he's like, what island do I feel like destroying today? Oh, why yes, this one here, and he inks it with the pen, and the ink reacts and brings the pen back to the pen holder, and as they collide, bam, big fucking lightning, fucking light shit that destroys an island. There we go. Perfectly logical deduction of what happened in this chapter. But no, on a serious note, I do think that there is some sort of connection with like the ink used on the map to Uranus. Or to whatever weapon this is. I don't feel like it's just, for effect he's drawn on the map. I feel like the ink or whatever the pen he's using. And is it a he? I'm more convinced it's a she now, because those fingers don't look like... I don't know if it's a drawn, but like those fingers look like feminine fingers to me. So I think Emu's a woman at this point. I'm very certain of it. You could have easily deducted that, I assume, from like the whole, from like the fact that Emu was like probably going to have the Kaguya fruit at the end of the day. She was probably going to end up having the Kaguya fruit. Because... wait, what if the Kaguya fruit makes you into a woman? Like, not like that's its ability, but that's like a side effect of it. That'd be an interesting take, because imagine if like the Kaguya fruit is just the enhanced version of the hormone fruit. Is that what Ivankov has? That'd be interesting. Like the like how Daz Bones is like, you know, Daz Bones is basically the weaker version of Baby Fight's fruit. So instead of like, for example, the hormone fruit allows you to rewrite people's hormones and their chromosomes and stuff and turn them into a different gender. You have the Kaguya fruit, which turns the user into, I'd say, a woman, because the ancient zone, it's like an ancient zone Kaguya fruit, and because Kaguya was a woman, it turns the user into a woman, yeah. And then like you have the ability to manipulate the entire being of a person, right? Or the entire being of something, but it has to be channeled. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, okay, I can get rid of this. Like, I can get rid of this island because I can manipulate the entire being of the earth or whatever, right? And so it's like an enhanced, like completely like gone out of left field sort of version of Ivankov's fruit. I don't know. I'm just throwing ideas at the wall to see what sticks at this point, because I'm not sure what I want it to be either. Like, I'm not sure what I'm looking for with this. I'm just sort of reaching. But if it has something to do with the eye, because that's all we ever see, and let's say the eye is like something to do with a power or like a mastery of an ability, like Mihawk being top 1 would not be a surprise, okay? Because their eyes are super similar. And holy mother of God, I'm telling you, if Mihawk turns out to be like someone who reached the top of the world and has like rebelled against Imu, and the one person Imu can't touch, and the whole reason Imu is like scared of Shanks or doesn't go after Shanks is because Shanks has reached that same level of power as well or something. I don't know, or is on the cusp of it, and because Mihawk's there he can't do shit. That'd be so funny. That would genuinely be one of the funniest things in my... I would have a great time with that, personally. Emu's interesting, and we get Dragon. We actually... So we confirm 100% that Dragon wasn't aware of Imu. But, interestingly though, we have Imu back in the flower room, yeah? And they talk about how Sabo is an unlucky man. As if there's some places out of Imu's reach. Which would make sense, because he doesn't go after like Alabasta or Wano, 2 countries that are very obviously rebelled against the world government and will never be a part of them properly again. Because I'm sure they know about, with Wobble and all the stuff he said, they definitely know about the fact that Vivi was part of the Straw Hat crew and Cobra doing Cobra things and probably getting killed by the foot. Oh my God, I'm just thinking about this now. So if we look at Sabo right now, right? What did Sabo know? What did Sabo exactly say? Dragon-san, I wasn't the one to kill Cobra, right? Listen, when I was in Mary Joa, I saw something unbelievable, right? He talks about how, where does he go with this? It happened in the throne room of Pangaea Castle, yeah? Realistically, we gotta say right now, if he was going to the throne room of Pangaea Castle, think about this, fellas. Alright, think about this for 2 seconds. They were executing Cobra in front of Imu. Right? Imu, because we saw Imu like cut Vivi out, right? As if he wanted to get rid of Vivi, right? And if he wanted to see the Nefertari family's entire being completely erased, maybe he went and wanted Cobra to be taken out, to be executed in front of her eyes, sort of deal, right? She wants that to happen to Cobra. And maybe Vivi's obviously not involved here. Vivi's not like dying. Maybe she's already been like attacked or something, or they're having something done with her, but I don't think she's being executed in front of Imu, because it sounded like he went to try and save Cobra and he saw something he shouldn't have. It wasn't like he just was going around and he saw Vivi and Cobra about to get executed and he went to save both, and Cobra pushed Vivi to Sabo, and then Sabo got Vivi out of there and then ran into Kuma, Kuma like pops them both away with his magic voodoo powers, right? It's not that at all. Yeah. It's interesting though. Because what is the, he obviously has such an astronomical grudge against the Nefertari family, because the way Sabo speaks about this, I'm almost certain Imu wanted Cobra executed in front of him, or for him to see Imu, as if Cobra, not saying Cobra would know anything about it, but it would be like a sense of vindictive joy for Imu, right? When she sees Cobra, the last member, or one of the last members of the Nefertari family, sniffed out before her eyes, you know what I mean? I don't know. Is that an idea that we can get behind, that that's how Sabo found out, because he's going to try and save Cobra? Because I'm sure he ran into Vivi at some point. If they're connected in some story, they definitely ran into each other, right? Like, I don't know what they're going to do with the idea of Imu's immense power, how they're going to handle it. Are we ever going to see the relation between Imu and Mihawk? And also, the way they cut this is like they cut off half of Imu's body, but we still see 2 eyes. Now, I don't know if it's just like to show him like moving across the panel, maybe, and it's like the same eye. But if that's 2 eyes, man, if Imu has like you know the Pokemon that Steven has that has like eyes going around his face. If Emu's got that shit, that's gonna be like fucking creepy. I don't care. If Emu has eyes going around her face, it's gonna be like fucking wild. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? I think it would be insanity, bro. Absolute fucking insanity. I would love it though. Absolutely love it.